Hi, welcome to Why Not Try Screencastify, presented by me, Joy Blake. Let's learn a little bit more about me. My name is Joy Blake, and I'm the Instructional Technology Specialist for Chicago Public Schools. I also am a Screencastify coach, certified coach. So I went through all these trainings to train other people on how to use Screencastify. Screencastify is something that I use literally every single day in my work. It's easy to use, it's efficient, and I love telling other people about it. I'm also a Peer Deck certified coach, a Google certified trainer, and an Apple teacher. Enough about me, let's talk about Screencastify. So, in this session, we're going to talk about our four key Screencastify components. So, first, we're going to talk about the Screencastify benefits. You may be wondering, why should I use this? There's tons of things I have to do already as a teacher. Why should I add this to the list? In this section, I'll tell you why and learn what Screencastify is and why it is important. Next, we'll talk about the Screencastify basics. You'll just be able to learn about the basics of using Screencastify. Thirdly, you'll learn about the Screencastify tools. You'll learn about the special tools and features that Screencastify has. They have a drawing tool, they have a special mouse tool you can use. In that section, we'll learn about that. And then fourthly, we'll learn about Screencastify Editor. So that's where we'll learn how to take the videos that we create and edit them to get them to look the way that we want them to look. So now let's get into the Screencastify benefits, learn what it is and why you should use it. So first of all, Screencastify is a free, simple video creation software for Chrome. It makes it easier to record, edit, and share videos on your computer screen. So basically, one is saying Chrome. That's the Chrome web browser. So if you don't use Chrome, like for instance, if you use Mozilla or Safari as your web browser, it's going to be harder for you. You're not going to be able to download Screencastify. The first thing you have to use is Google Chrome OS as your web browser in order to use Screencastify. Once you have that, then you'll have access to a lot of cool extensions and add-ons, and you can access those by going to the Chrome web store. So first, let's learn a little bit about it, and then I'll show you how to access it.
Screencastify, the easiest solution to create and share videos. And now, assess student learning. We'll get you started in seconds, and it's all available free. Start by clicking on the Screencastify extension in Google Chrome. Choose whether you'd like to record a specific browser tab, your whole desktop, or just your webcam. Then hit record and start your video. While you're recording, you can focus viewer attention with the pen tool, highlight ideas with a rectangle, or add stickers. When you're done, just hit the stop button. A new browser tab opens to manage your video. To start editing, click Open in Editor. Screencastify Edit allows you to customize your recording, cut, crop, zoom, add text, and more. Once you've created your video, it's time to make it interactive. Add questions to assess a viewer's comprehension. Move your cursor to the point in the video where you'd like to add a question. Customize it, and it's automatically embedded in the video. And when you share a video with the watch page, you can view analytics. See how many people watched your video and how they performed on your questions. With Screencastify, it's easy to create, share, and assess. It's everything you need to make instructional videos, all in one place.
All right, that's actually very accurate. That's every component of Screencastify in a simple, cut and dry way. So let's move. So first, let's see Screencastify in action. So what I'm going to show you now is a Screencastify video that I made. I was really basic at this. I didn't discover my Screencastify story starts like this. I didn't discover Screencastify until the pandemic. And at that time, I was like, I need to send my students directions on how to do things. I was getting tired of constantly putting stuff in the chat. I couldn't interact with them, face to face. So I needed a method to like get information across. So I went to a training with Screencastify, and I've never looked back. And currently in my current role, I use Screencastify to create tons and tons of instructional videos for teachers and staff. And it's actually extremely easy. I've used it to make morning announcements. I've used it to make videos about me. So I'm going to show you two examples from my daily life where have used Screencastify. Here's an all about me video. Let's check it out. Hi, I'm Joy. I'm a fifth grade math and science teacher at Shoup Academy in the heart of Chicago. Been a teacher since 2005. I went to Marquette University in Milwaukee, where I'm from, and I graduated with a degree in elementary education and political science. Fun fact, went to school with Dwayne Wade and my husband. Me and my husband have a podcast together called the Ain't Gonna Hurt Nobody podcast on YouTube. Check it out. I graduated from the improv comedy program at Second City, where I performed on their stage a couple of times. I have a children's book that I'm in the process of developing. It's right there. Boom. And I also like to quilt. If I had a bucket list, here's me quilting. I made a couple of quilts. If I had a bucket list, I would love to be on Wheel of Fortune or Family Feud. And if you notice in the last picture, I was pregnant. I have 2 kids. They're 1 and they're 5. That's me. Bye. All right. So, what did you think about that video? It was me years and years ago. But, anyways, that was my first Screencastify video. And as you can see in action, what you can do is capture your actual screen on your computer. So, there's a couple ways. You can make a video just showing yourself talking, or you can make a video where you're capturing things on your actual screen. And then clicking between tabs. You can draw on there. So that's a great way. It was a great way for me to show directions in real time because I could record my screen and record like the me doing the activity to help my students. So that's how Screencastify kind of looks in action. Now it's a quick 1 minute video. Hopefully you'll dive in. Trust me, once you try it, you'll get better and better with time. So, first of all, who uses Screencastify? Primarily, well, a lot of people. I know teachers use it quite a lot to add instructional videos to their classrooms. Students are able also to use Screencastify. I've used Screencastify. I've given Screencastify assignments to my students to complete, and they've done a great job. They picked up on it quickly, right away. And Screencastify also has a cool feature called Screencastify Submit, which connects to your Google Classroom and also connects to students, and they turn in their work doing different like activities. So it's really student friendly. Business professionals use Screencastify to communicate effectively. Like I said, in my current role, I work for Chicago Public Schools, and I use Screencastify for training videos, primarily short 1 to 2 minute videos that show people how to do things. And it's a great tool to use for that. And fourthly, just people in general use Screencastify to express themselves, to share their best ideas, the power of recording. Like if you want to be an influencer, if you want to make YouTube videos or TikToks, you can start your video content on Screencastify and work from there. They have an option for you to be able to upload it to YouTube. And they have a watch page where you can see how many people watch your videos. So it's a wonderful video recording tool, especially if you're just beginning and you're just starting out. So let's get into the Screencastify basics. So this is the basics of how to use the tool. First and foremost, you have to download the tool by you have to be on the Chrome OS, and you have to download the extension. If you don't, once you'll know you've downloaded the extension, because if you look in this upper right hand corner here, the little extension icon will appear there. So that's first. So I'm going to click on this link here to show you where to go. So you have to go to the Chrome Web Store. And if you don't know how to get there, you'll just put Chrome Web Store like that. And you can go to chrome.google.com to go to the Chrome Web Store. This gives you access to tons of apps, not just Screencastify, but we're talking about Screencastify. So you would go to the Chrome Web Store, you could type in Screencastify, and when you have it, you just click on the one you want. Now, I've already added it to my Chrome, but for you, it'll say install to Chrome. You click on that, go through the steps, and you'll be able to add it to your computer for free. You can do this same process for your students, especially if you want them also to use the Screencastify tool. If for some reason it's blocked from your students being able to use it, that really means you just need to reach out to your school, your district admin, or your tech co, and they would need to give access to to your students so that they can get Screencastify. So once you've downloaded to your computer, that's a really important step. Then you have to select what subscription you would want to use. So, for instance, it's not 100% free. I have the paid subscription because I make so many videos, so I need to be able to use more than 5 minutes of content. But when I was first starting out as a teacher, I used the free version. I wasn't making videos that were longer than 5 minutes. I was usually making 1 to 2 minute long videos. So that's all I needed. And with the free version, you still get all of the tools that you see here. So I think it's still a good tool to use for free. Now, for training purposes, I had to upgrade to the unlimited amount of time minutes just because I make so many videos and do professional learning that's longer than 5 minutes. So when you make a video, your videos are all automatically saved to your Google Drive. You can choose to make them public, they can stay private. You can export the audio. So for instance, if you just, maybe you're trying to make a podcast, like Screencastify is a great tool if you're just starting off a podcast, and you just want to export the audio. You don't want people to see the screen or see you. You can export it as an MP4. You also have the opportunity to make it more interactive, which means that you can add a share link, you can add a watch page, and you can add interactive questions if you would like. And then it also has the capability to right away share the video to your Google Classroom. If you're really basic, like when I first started off, I never used the editor. I was intimidated by it. I didn't know where to begin. So I was just kind of like, I'm just going to stick with the basic Screencastify. They do have like an editing tool, so you can kind of cut the beginning. You can cut some of the beginning and you can cut some of the end. But if you really need to cut like in between things, or you made a mistake or whatever it may be, then you would need to use the editor. But if you're just starting out, you could just really make your video and cut little things in the beginning and the end and start there. So let's head into a demo before we go to our Screencastify tools. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is open up my Screencastify app. Since I'm currently recording, it's going to show me how much my recording is. If I made a mistake, I can click this button. I can pause, or I could just throw this video away and start again. When I click here, though, it's going to give me my toolbar here. So I can see all the videos that I've created. So here, as you can see, I've done a lot. I really like Screencastify. So I did like a lot of, and this is just like one page. So here's all my videos. I can always click into any video if I want. I can also change the layout so I can see them as a list instead of seeing them in grid format. Here's a video that I just made for fun about the Google Doodle. So if I open it up, I can use these scissors here to cut the length of the video in the beginning, and I can use the scissors here to cut the length at the end. I also am able to change the title. I can get more information about it, like how long it is, the date, the dimensions, and the size of it, just in case it doesn't fit where I need it to fit. Here's the option, the share links. I can share it to my Gmail, get a QR code, or share it to my Google Classroom. I'm also just able to get a share link and just share the link directly to my video with someone else. And down here, this is where I can export the video. So I can export it as an MP4. I can send it directly to YouTube. I can download it, or I can make cool GIFs, which is really fun. Which is another feature. If you want to make your own GIFs, you can with Screencastify. Here's the Google Drive option, so I can make it private, public only to my domain, or unlisted. So I have all those options. Also, some new cool features is I can add and edit. I can edit my watch page. So my watch page is if I just share the link and I don't export it into my own video on my computer and I just share a link with someone, it'll keep track of how many people have watched my video. I can change kind of the background of it. So it's the video and then it's a colorful background. So that's what it means with this. And then I can also preview what it'll look like to the. Okay, man, this Google Doodle actually makes. As you can see, I can preview it and see like what my viewer would actually see. So those are some of the things that you get that you can experience once you've actually made a video. So now that I've shown you how Screencastify works, just the basic version, let's get into some of the tools that you can use while you're building your video. So, of course, as you can see here, you can use your webcam and you can either be in the corner of the screen if you want to. You can make yourself a lot bigger, or you can minimize yourself. Or if you don't want your screen cam, you can if you don't want your webcam, you can click on the X to remove it. Or once you have your drawing tools open, you can start it right back again. Also, Screencastify has a really cool feature, which is the countdown. I use this a lot because it gives you a countdown before it actually starts recording. So you can set that up for it to be 1 second, 5 seconds, or even 10 seconds long. And so that gives you time to like get your screen together, get everything up there that you need to see. And then of course, the next part is you're able to share your screen. So you could either share a tab or you could share your entire screen. If you plan on going through multiple tabs in your particular video, it's really important to share your entire screen because if you don't, all it's going to do is record that particular tab. Also, of course, we have the drawing tool. So this is really good for instructional videos if you want people to focus in. So you have the mouse. So here's the mouse drawing tool. So I can either make my mouse a focus mouse, drawing tool, mouse. See how I'm able to focus in on certain things. I can just use the classic mouse, or I can also use the circular mouse so that when I click on things, you actually see a circle. And my favorite one is the fireworks. So if I click on something, see how it made fireworks? Submit, editor. Yeah, so much. So those are the mouse features. If I want to go back, I'm also able to use a pen. So this is, to me, a really great feature for instructional videos because you can circle or you can show your answer and you can change the pen color. So let's say I want to use blue and maybe I want to circle the star. I want to put a math equation. So 2 plus 2 equals 4. And I use this pen function because I would literally have like a math worksheet open and then I would be going through modeling for the students and doing think alouds of how to solve it using the pen tool. So this allows you to write directly on the screen and it will be recorded. You can click here to clear your selection. And then you would just, if you don't want to use the pen any longer, you would just click on back and then you can move into the rectangle. So the rectangle is another focus thing. Like if I want you to look at the drawing tool, I'm going to add that rectangle. I could change the color as well and add in another color rectangle. And it's really nice. Like if you're doing instructional videos, you could time it out and say, okay, now we're going to talk about the mouse. And then your viewer's eyes will go to that. So that's how you use the rectangle to help just make a more crisp, cleaner video. So I'm going to clear this clear this selection, and to go back, you click back. The stickers are just fun. Like if you're like, you want to put an emoji like, wow, we 100% understand how to use the mouse. And I really love the rectangle. And oh my, isn't the pin and stickers cool? I give it a thumbs up. And it's just like a fun thing that you can add to your video to make it one more things like celebrate, celebrate. So kids love the stickers. I mean, especially when they're in the short little videos. They already like kids might act like they don't like your videos, but they really do. Like we have a generation of children that want watch YouTube more than they watch regular TV. So they like watching instructional videos. They say that YouTube is the number one place that people go to learn for education now. It's not their teachers. It's the number one place people go to learn is YouTube. So making video content is a pretty good skill to have and a pretty good way to get through to your students in a different way of teaching them. So that's why I just say have fun with it. Like the kids aren't going to judge you. You don't have to worry about how many likes you get. It's more about explaining things in a cool, creative way. So then I can just click clear selection and get rid of all my stickers, and I'll click back to go back. If I wanted to erase, like let's say I use the pen and I just wanted to quickly, I could either clear select, like let's say I don't want everything to go away. I just want the heart to go away. So I can click on back, and that's where the eraser comes in, because then I can just erase the component that I want to go away. Because when I click clear selection, it's going to literally clear everything that I did. So that's why you can use that eraser to just erase certain components. Another cool component is the pause. So for instance, if you make a mistake, I'm not going to use it now because this is a live video, but if I made a mistake of some sort, I can click pause, or let's say I stuttered or it didn't come out right, I can click pause, gather myself, and then click record again and start over. So that's like a quick way to like get smoother videos. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna like say stuff funny. You're gonna like scramble your words. You're gonna click on something and it's not gonna go where you thought it was gonna go. So that pause feature is a great way to like pause the video, get everything set up, and then just hit record again and start again, and you're still on the same video. So those are all the drawing tools. As you can see, I love them. Okay, so let's keep going. The other component of Screencastify is you're able to have settings and features. So I already showed you my video library, but basically, if I head here, if you head to the app, the extension, you can click here and you'll be able to see your video library. So that's what it means, video library. And in my video library, I can delete a video. I can click on the three dot menu here and delete a video. I can add in the title. I can rearrange them. And as you can see right here, this says 0. The reason why it says 0 like that is that would be like if you had a watch page. So if you had a watch page or you shared the link with your students for them to watch the video, you would be able to see how many students actually like watch the videos by looking there on your video library. This is the edit tool. So any video you want to edit, you can do that. Also, here's the Screencastify Submit. So this is where you can create assignments for your students to do. And you can right away generate, you can either make a link or share it to your Google Classroom. So if I hit Google Classroom, next, and you can decide, do you want your students to use their screen and their webcam to make the video? Do you want them just to have a video where they only see themselves, or they only see screen? So you could click that ahead of time, give an assignment, give it a title, give your instructions, and then you would just click next. From there, you can decide what class you wanted to assign to. I guess I'll do it here. And then which students you want to do it. So you can uncheck certain students. You can do all your students or only give it to certain students, how many points, the due date, and the topic. And these are pretty much Google Classroom features. You also can schedule when you want it to appear. So that's the Screencastify submit option. So this is a sample assignment that I made. You can see there were no submissions because it was a sample, but you could click here to edit the assignment or to close it. And this is where you can get your copy link. So once you've created assignment within submit, all the assignments will show up here. And you can also click here to get help. So if you're like, I'm stuck, I don't know, my students can't open this or something like that, click that question mark and that'll direct you to where you need to. Okay, so the Screencastify settings and features that we went through is we had the video library. I showed you this. You had the submit option where you can create assignments within your Google Classroom. And then you have just regular options. You can change like the notifications, the record options, and you have advanced settings. So if you're like a video pro and you want your video to look a certain way or the tab to be a certain size, you can change all those things within the settings. So if I go to my app here and then I go to this and I can click on here to see my account. This helps me know what type of subscription I have and how I can up. So if you want to upgrade your account, you can go to here to my account. But if I'm really trying to go to my options, I would go to the hamburger menu or 3-line menu, and I'm going to go to options here. And that's where I'm able to decide like, okay, I just want my videos to go directly to my computer. I don't want them to go to Google Drive. You can here's the notifications you can change. You can change the recording sessions, so autoplay any open videos. And here's the advanced settings that you can optimize your mic, things of that nature. So here's your options or your setting options, and you can find those there. Also, if you really want more help, they do have tons of classroom resources. So you could go to the resource hub, find more. They have podcasts here where people talk about how they use Screencastify on a daily basis. They have webinars, and the webinars are like really good. I really enjoy them. You learn a lot. They're very creative. So they also have resources and a whole tab just for teachers and a tab just for schools and districts. So that's a great resource. All right, so now let's get into the editor. The editor is once you have a video, you feel like you're a pro and you're ready to cut out when you sneezed or you're ready to cut off when you coughed or something that went a little wonky. So the first thing you have to do to even access the editor, you have to actually make a video. If you don't make a video, you're not going to be able to just edit it. And once the video is done and you've clicked this stop button, and you stopped recording, you're going to be taken to this screen here. But then in the corner here is the opening editor. So that's going to take you to a completely different screen where you can edit your video and set it up the way you want. Keep in mind, this original screen that you see here or the original video will always stay original. So when you open up the editor, you're basically opening up a brand new video, and any edits and if you, unfortunately right now, if you don't finish your edits like right then and there, you'll have to start over. Like if you don't finish your edits and then save that edited video, you'll have to start over. Like it doesn't pick up where you left off, and you'll just have to start with the original video and the original content. So with the editor, you can cut the content. So you could crop certain. You can crop. So if you want to crop out a certain section, you can crop things. You also can cut out certain sections within the video. So not just the beginning and the end, but also like the middle. Wherever you want to cut out. You could change the audio. You can make it be no audio at certain points or improve the sound. You can also blur. I like the blur and zoom. You can add in text. Like if you want to put in a title, you could do that. You can also add in a thumbnail at the beginning if you would like with text. Something that I really do use the zoom like a lot. I like the zoom feature. I like the text feature. I use those two probably the most. And if you have something that you don't want people to see, like student names, that's where the blur comes in, or someone's name. You can blur things out so that the video still works, but they're not seeing like the actual person's name. So those are some of the editor feature tools. You also can add media. So, for instance, if you have an intro, like maybe you're trying to make a YouTube video. So, if you have an intro video and an outro video, you can, if you have it downloaded to your computer, you can add that to the beginning and end of any Screencastify video. You also, like, let's say you forgot to say something and you're like, oh man, I meant to say this and add this to the video. You can just quickly make another video and then just add that media into the video you're currently editing. And when you do cut certain things within a video, like if you cut a section, you can cut it and move it to a different part of the video. So you can like rearrange how your video is set. So now that I told you how to use the editor tools, I'm going to show you in a short demo exactly how to edit if you have a pre-created video. So first and foremost, you got to record the video. I'm going to go to my video library and find one that I would like to edit. Okay, so here's a video that I made that is a like short intro video about myself. So if you see here, I made a couple mistakes. I had to start over and intro myself over and over again. If I wanted to, I could go here and like cut some things out and save it here as well, and just it'll trim it right then and there. But I might not want to do that, so I'm gonna click on cancel. And maybe I messed up in the middle of the video. So if that's the case, that's where I want to click on Open Editor. So I'm going to go to Open Editor here. And again, it's going to open this video it's almost like it's making a copy of the video. So the original video that you saw, like this video is going to stay exactly as it was. It's not going to edit. None of the edits that you've done will show up here at all. It'll just be the original raw content. So if I go here, here's my video. If I look at my video here, clearly right here, I had like some type of pause or something. So actually, I'm going to play it so you can see exactly what I did. I know I messed up. So here, look. Hi, my name is Joy Blake, and this is my instructional video about Hi. So see, I messed up. I didn't say what I wanted to say. So this is where I would actually come into the video here and I would be able to use the cut feature. So I can cut and then I can just cut that part out and start again. So that's like an example of the cut feature. If I wanted to, I can add in text here. So I could say my intro video. And if I want to, I can make this a lot bigger. I can change the font size, the font. I can make it bold or italics. Something I like is that you could change the color of the video, or you can change. So I can change the color of my text. If I want, I can make it orange. So I can highlight it and then make it orange if I want. I can change the background, so I can make this blue. If I want to, I can also drag my text to make it larger or smaller. And then I can also, like, if I want to, I can grab it and move it around and move it where I want it to go. So I use this a lot for students. Like sometimes I'll just put like step 1 and I'll actually write the step so that the student can see me doing the step and then read the text at the same time. And again, if you want to change the size, that's how you do that. And you could change like if it's centered, if you want it to be centered, like things of that nature. So I like text, and then I can click done. You also here in the editor can make this go through like the whole video if you want. So if you just want the video to pop, the text to pop up for like a short part of it, you can do that, or you can extend it so that it goes a lot longer. So now we've used the cut. If like, for instance, maybe I don't want like my bookmarks up here to show what websites I went to show. So that's where the crop feature comes in. So if I click crop, I can just like make the video only show this component. Keep in mind when you crop the video, the whole video is cropped, not just like that portion of it. So you want to be careful with the cropping and make sure you're not cropping something out that you need later on, but that's how crop works. If I wanted to hit zoom, I can zoom into a particular section for a particular time. So I can either and then and you can also change the in and out. Like you can make it zoom even more than what you see here. So if you can adjust it here, but if it's not what you want, then you can physically type it in. So now instead, when I hit play, see it's gonna zoom. It's gonna zoom into Google and then zoom out. So just in that particular section. So when I'm trying to like really emphasize something, or let's say I'm clicking on something that's really small, I'll use the zoom to help my participants see it. You also can extend the zoom like longer within the video if you need to, and you can move it. So if you find that it was randomly in the wrong spot, you can move it. You also can move your text too if you need to. The last feature that I'll show right now is just and there's also a zoom in and zoom out component here. I've never really used this, but I believe it helps you like to see that bottom part a little bit better. I just use it at the way it is. You also can blur out, like for instance, if I didn't want you to know I was on this website here and I didn't want you to know their name, I can hit that blur tool here. And since I still can kind of see it, I can increase the blur intensity. And now you don't know where I was at. It's a secret. So now I've used the blur tool, and that's what that kind of means. This is the button where you can. So I'll move myself over, but this is the button where you can add in media. So if you want to add in a title, so if maybe I want a thumbnail. Also, you can upload anything from your Google Drive, or you can upload things from your computer to the video. It has to be like video content. You're not gonna be like able to upload a Google Doc or something like that. But if you have like a pre-made thumbnail or a picture, you could add that in at the beginning of your video. So that's what it means when it says add media. And once you're done with everything, this is where you can just click export, and you can either export it to Screencastify, so that means put it back into your Google Drive, or you can export it as an MP4. I typically do MP4 because MP4 is the best way to have video content. Like your audio is the best. So I'll export it as an MP4 and then add that video to my Google Drive. But keep in mind, like any of the changes I made here, once I've exported, they're not going to show up on my original video. So if I discover that I accidentally delete that video that I've edited, fortunately, I have to start back over from scratch. So that's how that works. So that's the editor. So now that we've learned how to make a video, how to edit a video, here's my primary tips for getting started. Really, the most important one is you have to map out what you're going to do. Like it really makes a difference. It reduces the amount of times that you stutter or like stammer or say the wrong thing, or like just click on the wrong thing. Like if it's okay to practice it ahead of time, like go through what your video, practice it, and then hit record. It'll just save you time in the end. So I recommend either, if you have to literally type out a script and then read it as you're doing it, like that's okay. That's what most professionals do. They have a script and then they start the video, or they have like a storyboard or something. Do those type of things and map it out so you get the best content in the shortest amount of time. I say use that pause button, and also just pause. Like if you're not quick enough to click on the pause button, restart and then hit record again. Then when you make a mistake, just literally pause. And then that lets, like, when you're editing later, you'll see like that little random amount of time where there's no like audio, and that gives you a hint like, oh, I probably messed up right here. I need to cut this. So that's why I say either use the pause button or pause yourself if you make a mistake. So just an example for that, if I'm trying to read, use the pause button, but I say use the mouse button or something like that, I would just pause and then I would read it again. Use the mouse button exactly how I want it to be. And now I could cut out that other content and it'll just flow like seamlessly. most importantly, last but not least, it takes time. Like it really does take time. Like I've been using this basically consistently for this is my third year, and I'm still learning stuff, and I'm still not a pro. So your first videos, don't judge yourself. Like it just takes time for you to learn. You're gonna make mistakes. Be patient with yourself, and just remember, I can cut this out. I made a mistake. I can cut this out, or I can redo this. A lot. I have done it. I've done it where I've literally got almost through the whole video, made a huge mistake, and just started over. Like it's okay to start over. It takes practice. It's similar to riding a bike. You don't learn. As soon as you get on the bike, you don't just know how to ride it. You fall down, you get scrapes, but eventually you get better and better. So it just takes practice. Here's again some resources for you. Here's the teacher page with Screencastify. You can click on this, and it gives you like great tips on like how to use it in your actual classroom. There's a YouTube page for Screencastify where they instruct you on further things with Screencastify. Screencastify University is cool because this is where you can go to earn badges. Like if you're like, oh, I want to be a Screencastify certified coach. Well, you would need to go to Screencastify University to find out about how to be a part of that program. In order to be a coach, it was like a special program I had to go through. I had to do complete certain assignments and activities. And then at the end, once I finished the course, I got that badge. So that's Screencastify University. And this is just like a great place to go to get tips. These podcasts are actually really engaging. They talk about how people are using Screencastify in their daily lives. So you could always just check out the blog as well and listen to the podcast. So that's my presentation. Thanks so much. I hope you learned a lot about Screencastify, and I really sincerely hope you start to use it because once you start, you might not stop, and you never know where it might lead. All right, have a great day. Bye.